Los Angeles isn't seeing rampant looting, this is just undocumented shopping. As first, they looted the Jordan stores of its sneakers, then snuck in Zara to steal some cheap clothes, moving on to the Apple store to steal some phones. Even though they already know, once stolen, the devices are completely useless. So they went back to the Adidas store to steal some sweatpants. That'll sure teach those sneaker stores to not deploy the feds into their neighborhoods. And in case you're wondering what stealing cell phones and sneakers accomplishes that looting work boots or textbooks don't, we solved that in an earlier episode.
Why do you think bookstores were never looted and robbed during BLM riots?
Because black people, we enjoy education.
Oh, they weren't.
They weren't. That's the point. Why would we loot bookstores?
Why would you loot designer stores?
Because them.
That only sounds stupid because it is stupid, as the looters don't care if you're a multinational corporation or just some locally owned jewelry store.
Oh, they're in. Oh,
And as this street journalist was just recording the looting in public, these peaceful protesters beat him. They even tried to rob Nick Shirley in broad daylight. And attacking anybody the mob didn't like.
They're chasing a MAGA. They're apparently trying to attack.
So much for being peaceful people, as sadly the attacks weren't even the worst part about this. It's the looting that's likely the most damaging, where local business owners are losing everything.
But it is the small, the mom and pop businesses that have also been looted. Nimat, I mean, you have tears in your eyes of what they've done to your business.
Very bad. That it is 1 week is a riot and people of the transgender or other things, and they close the business and nobody can come inside.
With several such cases.
It's horrible. Here's worse.
All because the Democrats decided that President Trump can't get a win, so let's pretend we don't have a riot on our hands and sacrifice the entire life's work of actual Americans. As some locations were lucky and LAPD was nearby. But what the heck does looting a sushi restaurant have to do with anything? They must have heard that sushi's served with ice and just started smashing, as that's Otoro Sushi in Little Tokyo. They're run by Japanese chefs from Japan and only have 3 locations that can only stay open 5 days a week for 5 hours a day. So I wouldn't be surprised if their profit margins were so razor thin they could never open again. But sadly, the Democrats aren't interested in protecting those type of immigrants. They'll only bend over backwards to defend them and their makeshift mortars, letting them peacefully beat the crap out of each other in the streets, and even pop off a couple paintball rounds at the police lines. As the left-wing news media first claimed, they're just having fun watching cars burn.
What is just a bunch of people having fun watching cars burn into...
With Democrat Congresswoman declaring there was no violence.
There was no violence. I was on the street. I know.
And now stating it's just the exuberance of the moment.
Careful whether you see a burned car or broken window or whatever it is. It may be the exuberance of the moment.
How fiery but mostly peaceful became the exuberance of the moment is just a prime example of how stupid they think their voter base is. As anybody actually paying attention knows what's really going on, and no matter how many times they ask ChatGPT to rephrase their lies, it can't change the fact that they've officially lost the city, somehow thinking that this will stop the raids.
Stop with the ICE raids. If ICE shows up, do not resist, claim your rights. Shh. Stay silent.
Hey, you, the guy that's about to write something disgusting in my comment section.
Stop it.
Get some help.
But the Democrats' plan to stop the riots was even dumber.
But the real solution of all of this is for the administration to stop the raids.
Doubling down on that statement.
We need to stop the raids. This should not be happening in our city. The only thing it does is contribute to chaos. This was chaos that was started at Washington, D.C.
It's crazy how she's literally asking Trump to let the rioters hold the city hostage until he gives in to their demands of not enforcing our country's laws, basically admitting she cannot control the city, all the more reason that the military needs to come in and save it. But now their argument against Trump restoring order to the city is that the deployment of the National Guard and Marines will cost $134 million, conveniently forgetting that California already spends $8.4 billion, or over 800% more, on health benefits for undocumented residents this year alone. It's that same argument of building a wall is too expensive, so let's just load 10 times that amount on EBT accounts to hand out. So I'm glad our ICE director doesn't care and will continue the raids.
As a matter of fact, we got over 100 teams out today enforcing immigration law, and we're going to flood the zone. I've said for a month, sanctuary cities, you don't want us to arrest these bad guys that you just listed out. We could arrest them in the safety and security of a county jail, but they won't let us into jail. They release them into the community, which means we got to send a whole bunch of teams in the community to find this dangerous person that don't want to be found.
So if anything, the raids in LA have only increased in frequency, proudly posting whatever they make an arrest, as I really think Homan knows. Either way, he's gonna get bad press, so might as well go all in on completing the mission. The problem is, like what initiated this in Minneapolis, where apparently the rioters mistook a drug bust for an ICE raid, and even to today, Reddit is out there warning their communities of ICE activity, even if it turns out just to be the local police fulfilling a student's Make-A-Wish dream with their SWAT team. And even when the original poster was corrected, they still stood by their warning that ICE could have been in the area, with other Redditors agreeing this was a good thing. They literally couldn't be any dumber if they tried, which makes me truly believe in the dead internet theory, as Reddit is likely just AI bots talking to AI bots, talking to anybody dumb enough to not notice they're talking to bots, talking to a couple foreign agents pushing an anti-American agenda. But ironically, and also tragically, probably the only thing that could save Los Angeles, California is Chinese President Xi, as all he has to say is, hey, I'm dropping by LA tomorrow. And just like when he visited San Francisco, it would immediately be cleaned up.
Folks say, oh, they're just cleaning up this place because all those fancy leaders are coming into town. That's true, because it's true.
And again, as of recording this video, it keeps getting worse for him, where LA implemented a curfew that nobody is listening to. Protests have spread up to Seattle, all the way over to New York City, and in Chicago, they just had to deploy the bomb squad into their sewers. So make sure you're subscribed, as it's about to get spicy. Don't doom scroll on social media all day when you have my concise, lighthearted commentary on the tragic status that is today's reality, so subscribe to Decoy Voice.